So we're gonna talk about ways to think, the culture here at KW. And then how you see your career going. So anyone can do it, not everyone will. Will you? So Gary Keller started Keller Williams in 1983. I feel like it was 78. 83?
I'm 100%.
83. So yeah. So here, there's a lot of acronyms at KW. So they talk about 6 personal perspectives. So number 1, commit to self-mastery, meaning find a way that works and then keep working on it until you master that. Does anybody know how long it takes to become a master at something? How many hours?
10,000 hours.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's overstated. No. Commit to the 80-20. Who knows the 80-20? And we don't have to raise hands. You guys can.
Well, I mean, I know it's like, there's an 80-20 idea where it's like, something like 20% of the business comes from 80% of the people. But maybe that's something different.
No, you're on the right track.
Like for alcohol sales and stuff, it's like the market is down, like the 80% of the sales are going to come from like 20% of the customers.
So it's
Pareto.
Whatever it is. Yep.
Yeah.
He essentially, you can put this to any place in life. So 20% of your efforts will make 80% of money. So essentially 80% of the things you do make 20% of the money, right? So 20% of your clients will make you 80%. Moving from E to P is from entrepreneurial, which just seems like a hard word for me to say, to purposeful. So not just like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, but actually having a plan to do it. Number 4, making learning base your foundation. Number 5, I think, is a big thing that they focus on here at KW, removing your limited beliefs. Who has a limited belief in life? Besides me and Allison.
I mean,
What?
like we're all gonna die.
That's
Does that count?
that's not a limiting belief. We are all gonna. Oh,
It's a limit.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, not immortal.
That's way to bring the place down.
Fun fact.
Go ahead.
A very common one is, I don't deserve to make this much money.
Yeah. But why? I guess that's why. Like, why is it? To me, it's why is that a limiting belief? Why don't you deserve it? Because of X.
Right.
Yeah, because
all of us might have the same one or a different one, but we believe for some reason that we don't deserve to get a commission for doing hard work.
or make this much.
Right.
Or it becomes easier. Like I have this limiting belief that good-looking female real estate agents have an easier time than I do. And
Little big on, man.
like,
The
what's
My
that?
biggest one is like, I'm not enough, like I'm not smart enough, I don't know enough, I don't have enough experience.
They can't hear
With
us.
new AI generated photos, I can do whatever. I want.
Gotcha. Rusty's like, you can talk, but
And
apparently
then
not.
Number 6,
No,
Sam's helping
I'll talk
this
with
one,
you.
being
You know what
accountable,
mine is?
being
Mine
a-
is like,
self-employed person.
like I've never,
often
like I've
hide
done a lot of things and
not
I've
be
never
accountable
been
and just do whatever you
successful.
want.
at
Yeah.
any, like I've been successful,
So-
like, but right on the edge. I've never had like
Let's
that
go.
freedom where I'm set
Um,
up, you know what I mean? And I come from a
let's go.
family of business owners.
I think I
sorry, like-
self-sabotage a lot because I don't
You have an income goal.
think that I'm
It's,
doing
how many
it
deals you
right.
wanna do.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too, me
Yeah,
too.
you don't have to tell me, but like.
I'm Kat, by the way. What's your name?
Keller's really big on
Okay, awesome.
what's your goal?
Nice
and how
to-
we
do you
help
have your
get there.
license?
Yeah.
You
So
know,
nice. How
whether
long have you
it's,
been
hey, I
doing
wanna
it
do
for?
5 transactions.
Just barely
Still
over
have
a
a
year,
full-time
but
job,
I
or
haven't been
whether
doing
it's
a whole lot.
50
I've had some health
transactions.
stuff.
And I wanna work work.
Have you gotten
40
any
hours a week or
transactions
100
though?
hours a week.
No,
Me neither. I just barely
So-
started working in like
We work on your
December.
strengths and your
Mm.
weaknesses.
I've had the same client for 8
Anybody
months.
has questions? I would love this to be interactive.
That's a whole story.
So we kind of
Anybody
talked,
want to share their goal?
thanks, Allison.
I will. It's probably too short-sighted because apparently I just figured out I have a limited whatever.
Well, we're gonna help you.
Yeah, but I just got my license and that was a huge goal because I have 3 kids and a family and a mom and I'm like busy, like I missed 4 days this week in this class, because I'm like, there's no way it's working with my kids' schedule. So my goal this year, because I just got it, is literally 1 transaction and then I'll go from there, you know?
Okay, when's that gonna happen?
That by the end of the year,
By December
by
31st?
December 31st.
Okay,
And then if I do hit it, then I'm gonna up my goal.
okay,
Go for 3 or go for 2 and go for more. And then next year will be even more.
Yeah.
From there, that's my
Yeah.
goal.
Anybody else?
It's easier to get more when you have one.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But that.
My goal is 1 transaction a month.
Yeah.
Busy like that.
I think, telling.
Like
people
at the end
goals.
of the year, I
Same.
want to average, I want to average out to be 1
If
transaction a
it's
month.
September and.
If it's more.
Yeah,
cool,
I think that would
I'll
be
fight
amazing.
For more,
your friends
but
are
my
like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
beginning goal is 1 per month.
You should like think about off the couch.
That's what made me get my license.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I'm gonna get my real estate license and I told everyone and I was like, now I have to get it. Because if I don't, it's embarrassing, but I didn't get it.
Anybody else have a goal that they want to share?
Get my license.
Yeah.
License, Bradley,
Trying to work out 3 times a week this year.
3 times a week.
And you're being accountable for that.
Yep. Got an accountability buddy.
What consists of a workout?
An hour at the gym.
An hour at the gym.
I did not, I was like, I
No, I
have
do
kids
it
and a
by
job and
hand.
I did not have the energy to
Gotta
get down there
be-
every day
I
for
can't
2
go and just,
weeks.
Like sit there.
Yeah,
I guess kind of a personal standard, but I gotta do something to make me sweat,
nice.
feel tired afterwards.
There's plenty of, well, when I first started, there was a few times I would get to the gym and it was like a 15-minute, 20-minute drive. And I get there, I'm like, I'm not doing shit. And I like went home. I didn't get out of the car. So when I said like, what, just because you went to the gym. doesn't-
Yeah. Goal achieved.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
Yeah,
there.
I checked the box. I could have put the sign in the background, selfie. Awesome. So we talked about 20%.
Oh, I'm sitting there telling you like 5 sentences and I was on mute.
Throughout life.
You wanna get 36 transactions. of 13
I'm saying
conversations.
last year, before I got licensed, I
It's very possible.
went and it was
Well-
just Tuesdays and
I
Thursdays for a few weeks.
Good.
Can we like say things?
Wow.
Is this? Wait,
Say what you want.
This is a
You're just
free
being
space.
a-
Yeah. Well, as part of the ELC, I was in charge of finance and gave me some numbers. So does anybody know the average, not that we set commissions, that would be weird. And there's laws against that. But the average commission out of this office, there's 200 agents
Per transaction.
per
You
transaction.
talking after fees or before?
Gross.
9,000?
Anybody else?
12 something. Oh, 12,500.
Okay, anybody else?
Oh.
Cause you guys haven't got it. Tired.
50,000.
Yeah, it's 14,988 for
I was gonna say, the
2024.
market's pretty. good.
So
Wow.
if you wanna, and
That went up from
made
last year
36
because I think it was like around
36 times 15.
12 something last year, the average commission.
And our numbers were up 20% for year over year per agent, so every agent that's doing business gave them a 20% raise last year.
Yeah, so you guys are in the right room. If you sign that paper that says KW, I will give you my firstborn. This is why they have me go first, is so that you guys, it's only gonna get like more serious from here, so. Or not. So we talked, this is how I started my career. Where you like go along and you're naturally talented enough to get a deal or get 3 deals or get 5 deals on your contract. And then you kind of bounce back down because you like hit the ceiling and you didn't figure it out. And then you're like, oh, I gotta like put food on the table and pay the bills again. And you're like, figure some more things out. and get back up there. The purposeful approach is, you set the goal, where it says focus, set the goal. And then KW has models and systems that they say, okay, if your goal is this, and you want to get it by cold calling, or you want to get it by door knocking, or you want to get it by social media, here's what super successful agents have done. So just do what they've done, and you'll ride that little escalator up through the models and systems, and you go past this
My computer is going absolutely
line of
bonkers.
natural achievement. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions? Jason from the back.
No, just so frequently, breaking the ceiling, you know, we all have our, kind of our natural ceiling of achievement, like. We have
The
limits,
limiting
we have weaknesses that we have. Many of these systems are getting people on board with you. You know, when you get to a certain point, being able to hire people that make up the weaknesses that you have. And push you to that ceiling of achievement.
You guys ever notice in your bank account, it seems just like you always get to this spot. You get $1,000 and then you go back down, you get $5,000 and you like float under this $5,000 or the 10 grand or whatever it is. And you see, or you know, people that have always been broke and they're always broke. Well, finding systems to like get you through that, raise your temperature to a different level. That's what these models and systems will help you do. Because I can say, hey, you can close 5 deals your first 5 months, but if you don't have the way to get there, and someone like Allison or somebody on the team that's like helping you, you might not get where you want to be.
Is that what this is?
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
This is all me helping. What do you mean? Like this Ignite class?
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is like the crash course of like what. This is like the 10,000 foot view when you're looking out the plane, you're like, oh, there's a city down there. And there's the freeway, and there's this, right? It's like, here's the general idea. But then there's like classes, if you want to, some of them are, most of them I would say are free. To dive into like, how do you get business through social media? How do you get business through this? How do you get business with sending a letter to someone that says, hey, do you want to sell your house? Like, whatever your strategy is, if you want to like help the soccer moms with their schoolwork and that's how you want to do it.
Sure, I love soccer moms.
Well, Claudia, you got the deal, right? Through being a homeschool teacher.
Right.
I like soccer. I just thought that was a general thing that we all had. Moving on. But she got the deal through her network, right? So, hey, how do I work my sphere of people to know that I'm in real estate? And yeah, so we talked about this, like
Melody, I got my first
This
client
is
door knocking
you.
in the open house.
Oh, really?
No,
I
no,
think
no.
I'm gonna go
No,
door
no,
knock
so you're
some
gonna get to the same
townhomes this
ceiling.
weekend.
Cause you're gonna do the things you know
Oh,
how to
if
do.
you want a partner,
and
I might go with
until
you if
somebody
you're
says,
interested.
"Hey,
Where are you at?
if you tweak this.
I live in Ogden.
we'll
Where
show
do you
how to
live?
tweak that."
I live in
You're
Pleasant
gonna
View.
keep hitting that ceiling of.
Isn't that close to me? I can't remember where
Uh-huh,
Pleasant View is.
yeah, I'm only like from like 5
I'm neither
minutes from
especially
Ogden.
clever,
5
nor
10
Yeah.
minutes,
especially
depending on where you
gifted.
are.
I'm only
I'll
very
put
good
my
at this.
number in the chat thing. So go look at the
Okay.
chat and text me.
Okay, sweet.
I don't think everything here is like, you wanna make 100,000 or you wanna make 500,000. Like, a lot of people in this office wanna work less hours. So it doesn't have to be like this unlimited belief, and it's not only. Hey, I wanna make this many transactions or this amount of money. It's like, hey, I wanna close 20 deals and work 20 hours a week, right? And how do I do that? Is that possible? Well, there's people that do it. So. Changing it from a limiting belief to something else. Do you guys have books? I feel like the energy's dying down. Everybody
Maybe
live?
those donuts. Where are they? Just kidding.
So I actually have to be at my house. So she's gonna drop them off early if I take this
You
text
were
message.
taking.
She literally just texted me.
You weren't letting them, so.
So-
It's on you.
Do you want me to text?
Is it fine if I text her since I'm taking the credit?
Amy.
Okay, they're on their way. I don't know if they're good, but
Well, yeah,
free donuts. So I don't know if they still say this at school, but they say, when I went to school,
I can tell you.
okay. They said, we can't promise you that you're ever gonna make any money, but you will not go hungry. They still say that?
I've never heard that.
You
will hear that a lot.
I think someone here said that to me.
You will never, like, if you want food, just hang around the office.
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, free lunch.
Yeah.
You like find a home inspection company or a title company, you're like, hey, I'm a new agent. And they're like, let's go to sushi. So
Yeah.
you will never go hungry, but you might not make any money. So there's your whole real estate.
I've
You won't
I've
make
been
any
in
money
it
if
just
you
over a
don't
year.
do
I've
any
yet
work.
to have
You can work,
anybody
you know, but-
take me to
But you
lunch.
can eat.
But you can't.
And I've
Oh,
eat
tried.
that's funny.
Yeah.
even if you
I've been
don't.
fed so many times, but I go to all
Um,
of the like classes and stuff.
So reality.
Well, I've
can't see the top.
eaten at the classes and stuff like that, but I'm like he said,
accountability.
the
And accountability.
other people just be like, hey, let me go take you to
Tim's
lunch.
holding me accountable.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a
Yeah.
good thing for me. I don't like to be held accountable like most self-employed people. And so for the first time, I've written down my goals and then I file them away. They're sick over here. And it does, I do fine.
My computer keeps
And
muting
for
and
the first time, it's
unmuting
like,
itself.
Okay, this is what I want. And he's like, hey, how you gonna get there? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the same. And that was last week. And so tomorrow we're gonna meet and he's gonna say, did you do those things? I'm gonna say, I did not do all of those things. And so then we're gonna have to figure out a plan of like, are these really important? Or are we gonna change the goal? So wait and hope on something or make a plan, find solutions, make excuses, owns it. I think my perspective in real estate is I own everything. So if something went bad, it's my fault. Because I was the one that was like, hey, I'm gonna leach his water.
That's
And-
like what I told him in my
And I'm gonna find a solution.
interview.
It's not gonna be
Is like
perfect.
one of the
Every
reasons I
time
wanted to
turns
get
out,
into real estate
there's
is
gonna be
because like
hurdles or
I said, if I
speed
fail or if I succeed,
but
I
we're
want
gonna
it
get
to be
there.
on my own merits.
But if
Cause like
somebody messes up,
I've worked at Home Depot for almost 11 years
construction
now.
company,
And
Mhm.
like
or not if they don't miss anything, but if they miss anything,
you
I
have to
told
be a
them to
kiss
review
ass
it.
to like move
If
up.
I said, hey,
You know
use
what I'm
this
saying?
person,
And like,
Yeah, my
no-
sister works at Home Depot.
yeah,
fault.
no matter how hard I
if I didn't write the
would work or
contract
how
right,
good my
my
stats
fault.
are or whatever,
Right?
it didn't
If the firm was
matter.
supposed to be included and it wasn't,
Yeah.
my fault. Miscommunication, my fault. So I
Freak,
think that
do
one
I
served-
move
has served me well.
this?
Okay, somebody, I need a couple ahas. We need some like,
Aha.
yeah, all right,
This.
I'm just going to. Thanks for the back of the room.
We got
Does anybody know what an aha is? Let me tell you what an aha is. Aha is like, oh. light
Agents
bulb went on,
helping
that makes
agents
sense,
is what it
or,
stands for.
Agents helping agents.
That's my
Oh,
favorite.
it's an acronym.
extension, is that-
Oh, I
Okay.
get it. That took me way too long. I was like, what?
Can I do one, Justin?
Got
I
it.
love that you
Yes.
said that you own it. Like we work with a lot of realtors. Sometimes they're like, oh, my client this or that. And,
Yeah.
so I just love that you do that.
Yeah.
Do that as well.
Yeah, I still say my client's crazy. Like our job, whether I'm on the listing side or the buying side, is to take the emotion out of the deal. My clients, you're gonna be my client.
Yeah.
Totally emotional, which seems like a normal role.
That's-
Okay.
Thank you.
Stereotyping from the front row. But to take the emotion out of the deal, because she's gonna say, no, heck no, I'm not paying this, or they need to come down. But she's gonna say it in a way that if she told it straight to the seller. He's gonna be like, lady, you're crazy. It's not gonna be-" Right? So our job, when Claudia's on the other side, is say, hey, my client wants this, my client wants this. How do we like bridge the gap? Right? That's what I feel like our biggest goal is not to decide if your ask is crazy, even if I think it's crazy, I'm like, think that's out of like the realm, but like, let's give it a shot, right? And I'll say, here's the options. They could say no, they can cancel, like they could do this, this, and this. And if she says, yep, then this is the way we go.
Well, I think it's important to make your client understand that you're doing your fiduciary duty to represent your client or your principal in the best manner that you can, right? And if
Are
give
you
them no,
learning
it's
a
no
lot
big
from
deal,
this
but
one?
At least you represented them.
Yeah. Or represented what they wanted,
Not
right?
particularly.
You know, there's times when there's multiple
I was
offers,
just wondering.
they're coming back, by the way. So
Are you?
prepared.
No, not really.
Okay.
But I told my clients, like,
It gets more
if you come up
interesting the more
$1,000, you get it. Like, I just have this gut.
further on
Like,
into
no.
the class.
And I'm like,
Oh,
I have like
nice.
750.
Yeah, the
Like,
first couple
just a little
classes
bit
I
more.
feel like
And then
are
they don't get it,
like a
but like you
really
said, if that's
kinda
what
like
was
an
the price they
overview
wanted
almost,
to pay, then that was
you
the
know?
price.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody else?
Can I say something on accountability?
Yes.
Real estate is
Mhm.
not rocket science. Like there's already proven
No,
models.
it's just talking to people. The more
accountability is
people you
one
talk
where-
to, the better.
And you'll hear me say this a lot. Accountability.
I am trying to
Success in
download
real
my
estate is
shit from
10% of your
design. It's
goals,
not working.
Then
I'm
10%
irritated.
the action plan, what you're committed to doing that
The
week,
book
and
or
then
whatever?
80% accountability. Some
No,
of the
just my
biggest
Is that
billionaires in the
design.
world,
Oh.
have accountability groups. Believe it or not,
Like,
Elon Musk has an accountability.
For your
Someone that he
logo
reports
or
into
what?
to-
What are you talking
to
about?
Like
hold him
I'm
accountable to
making,
the
I'm
decision that
making
he's actually
posts, like
doing what he said he
marketing
did.
posts.
And if you
Oh,
stick to that,
I don't know
that's
how
why
to
Allison
do
is
any of
so
that. I'm
valuable,
so like,
and eventually the staff. and
I
everyone
barely
here
get by.
is
I work on a
he will-
computer
the
like
direction to
every
go,
single day for 11 years,
and
but
as
I
long as
do
you do those
specific
things and you
things.
back, you will be successful.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's-
really?
If you go in the industry that
I
has the
usually do
lowest
pretty
amount of
good.
revenue to get into to make the most. money.
Move to marketing folder.
Yeah, where else can you start a business?
There it is.
Are you talking about like in command?
We
Yeah,
can
so
talk
I
about
made
what
it
we
in,
want.
I made it in
We're gonna
command,
to have some tech help up here.
but
Either for that.
apparently you have to, so Alex is in, my-
You guys meet Melanie, right? She's talking to Alex. Anybody else have a thought of what we went over? Anything spark?
sorry, we've been muted the whole time. We've been like participating our own way this whole time. We thought you guys couldn't hear us.
Well, next time you have to come to class so that we can all enjoy the conversation.
I have
So
a
you-
job, 2 kids, flip houses, like that's not, that's 2 weeks
how-
every night for 2 hours was very hard to commit to.
Yeah, I understand. All right, well, I'm glad you're here. Anybody else have anything? You guys just want these donuts, I
Yeah.
can see it.
That's it.
I was pointing at Jason.
I was looking.
He's like, give me the donuts. Let's talk about our culture here. So you remember how it was like, there's a bunch of weird acronyms? That's one of them. Red Day is the day that we like close the office and do a community service day. KW Cares is basically a nonprofit that KW has, that if an agent has something life traumatic, like your house burned down in Florida or in California, like a couple agents lost their house. And KW Cares is helping get them back on their feet. So we have kids groups and diversity groups and cultural. One of the agents here was the cultural ambassador for, what was Christy? For
Yeah.
Utah or
Region,
the
Utah
whole
region.
region? So a gal in our office that she's a rock star.
What's MVP?
She's way nicer than me, and that's coming up right here. That's why I waited to say it. That's a great question, Jason. I'm glad that you asked that. Here's your aha. Mission is the M. Mission, vision, value, beliefs, perspective. Essentially, they're talking about like how KW is a business. This is how. What is it? God, family. Yeah. So, and we're like a big family here. So, if there's a thing in your life, there's agents here that will help you if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this does not look like it babysits. And like, it's been a long time since I've had a kid in diapers. And an agent here has a 6 month, six and a half, she's a good friend. And she's like, hey, what are you doing at 3:30? And I'm like, I don't know. And then she says it again, I'm like, do you need something? And she's like, I need a babysitter at a listing appointment. And I was like, and you're asking me, a single dude, like, this is your option? And she's like, yeah. And I said, so here's the deal. The baby's Olivia, but I'm like, the baby will be alive, but may not be happy. That is the agreement.
Level of care.
That is the level of care. It will be alive. So is that. And no, but she went to a listing appointment for another agent to be like, oh, let me take this so that you can go be my competition, so to speak, right? It's not competition because has her own sense of clients that resonate with her. And she's helped me plenty of times. So yes, I'm not an official babysitter. It's very few. And the only standard of care is they are alive. So, because I raised a 17-year-old on my own, so I can keep them alive. That's the only thing. Values, beliefs, perspective. Mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. What in that, like, does anything in there resonate with you guys?
I mean, it all sounds great.
What part of it? It's
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what part of it sounds great? Like, what hit you tonight?
I mean, all of them sound great. I would say probably just the careers worth having is great. Instead of just a
Having
job
a
that I
career.
hate.
Yeah,
Or
job that pays.
Yeah,
Like, what do you do for a living? You're like, I got a job.
yeah.
Mhm.
Or even if it's a job that I like. Before this, I was trying to have my own landscaping company. And that's really a vehicle maintenance business. Is really what it comes down, like machine maintenance business, and that is not something that I wanted to be doing. Like, I love gardening, I love landscaping,
So that's not it.
but
Yeah.
for me, it wasn't worth having it. Like, the margins are so small, and
Yeah. Anybody else see anything in there that they like or?
For me,
For
I
me-
think, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
For me, I think the mission all like, for me personally, culminates to the lives are worth living. Like the career, the business, the experiences, everything is like, why do anything if like my whole life, it's like worth it. So that's for me.
Yeah, and if you want to work 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week or 70 hours a week, or you want to go on vacation once a month, like, this is the way you want to design it. For me, it's this legacy worth leaving. Like, I want to leave my kid this little empire that I'm building. So that's like my one thing.
is he gonna start working with you soon, like next year or whatever, when he's 18?
Whether he gets his license or not is debatable. He's still in high school, but he loves to come flip houses.
Cool.
And clean out sewers and.
Oh, he doesn't like it?
He does not like
So I'll
it,
do anything else but this?
and he has to do it.
Okay,
And the only thing I don't let him do is paint currently because he clearly hates it and does a bad job. Yeah,
Weaponized incompetence. It's like, I did paint, look,
yeah.
I'll never do that
clearly-
again.
I clearly.
He
hates it.
mentioned, so you would do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, so, but no, I buy dilapidated houses, fix them up, and so he helps me do that, and then I rent them out, and one day, when I'm long and gone, it might be his. Another acronym, like I said before, like there's all these things, Y4C2Ts, that's how that's said, if it's out there. So you're gonna hear that a lot. So win-win or no deal. So these are like straight from Gary Keller. That this is how he wants, maybe not how he wants, but how he thinks when they started the company in 1983. Look up. That he's like, hey, this is how like a great business should be done. So win-win or no deal, meaning it wins for me and the other agent, wins for me and the client, wins for the other side. Like everybody is happy. It doesn't mean that they get what they want, but the communication was clear. Integrity, that's a big one. There are gonna be times that you're tempted to do things that you could probably get away with. And integrity is a big thing. I say clients, this says customers. I think customers are a smaller purchase bill, and I think clients are for life. Commitment, do what you think you say you're gonna do. Communication, seek first to understand, meaning like ask questions before you like jump at a response. Creativity, teamwork. There's a lot of teamwork in this office to help give a different perspective. So a lot of times you have your blinders on, you're like, this is what I'm doing, this is gonna work. And what I really like at this office is there's someone that can be like, hey, like maybe if you called 2 people this month, you could close 2 deals. You know, right? Something I'm definitely not picking.
It's all good.
I figured you could take it,
Yeah,
so. Trust. Equal opportunity and success through people. So there's a test later on this.
Each of you are business owners, and as a business owner, if you don't have your own mission statement or your own purpose, like these are great things to integrate when you communicate with your clients.
Yeah,
This is something to adopt and use as your own standard.
yeah. Like, why do you do real estate? Why, what makes you different from the other 13 agents that they know?
Why should they hire you?
Yeah, and pay you what you're asking? Asking, demanding, requiring?
Worth is what you.
Worth, oh, yeah, we're gonna go with the worth, that sounds better. Red Day, like I say, they shut every office. Closes down for the day, it's not required. It's highly encouraged, and it's a lot of fun. We've done like service projects of things for the city, we painted, I think realtors should not paint, but there was one day we painted a house, Bronco colors.
oh. That's a
Oh, Broncos.
It was not my choice,
That's a choice.
and I'm like, what realtor said this was a great thing?
Went to Hogle Zoo last year.
What's that?
I said we did Hogle Zoo last year.
Hogle Zoo last year was, we should have brought our own tools instead of like,
Using this.
Oh, no.
they gave you like the smallest little.
Like,
zoo.
what do they give the kids?
Yeah, like the kids, they're like, here, go clean all the weeds out of the parking lot with like this little thing.
I
I'm like,
don't know.
can we just get a real shovel? Can we have this done? So there's your, if they say, hey, we're gonna go pull weeds. Bring a
Bring your
shovel. Yep. We talked about KW Cares, and they have kids programs to help kids get involved in real estate, which is cool. They have, what's that?
Scholarship.
They do have scholarships, and they have like events that they can go to see not just you, like my son doesn't listen to me. He doesn't- If Tim says something, he will listen to Tim. just because it's not dad, right?
Yeah, I got a teenager.
Yeah, like, yeah, if I said something, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna do that. If you say, you're like, that's official.
Yeah.
Okay, agents help agents. Anybody?
There's all this stuff on the
If no
website.
one else besides Isaiah says something, we
That's what I'm talking all the time.
we're gonna eat all the donuts.
Yeah, watch me.
Go ahead.
Where are they
What's up?
Where are they coming from?
The
like
store or the
Cross
person
or-
delivering?
The donuts?
There's
no donuts.
Are they from a grocery store?
Like Banbury Cross?
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Go has donuts.
Sorry.
But she said she loved me and hugged me, I'm just saying.
Well, so what I'm hearing is I said donuts. Claudia said, just bring whatever you want.
Oh,
So if you really wanted a donut, and you were like craving a donut like me, we can go get donuts afterwards. Claudia.
I'm not invited.
So clearly, I don't know.
Okay.
Anybody not food related?
What about, how do I find out more information about the money for my kids to do stuff?
That's a great question. Allison,
On Connect.
cool.
It's all on Connect, which is part of Command. You have Command login, right, Isaiah?
Oh, yeah, I was all over Connect. I made a website. I-
Yeah, nice. So on the top, when you log
Design.
into one that says Connect, you can click on that and then you look in there. And then at events.kw.com, they'll have like the, what is it? Quantum Leap for kids, like when they're trying to teach your kids about how to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's all on there.
All right, thanks.
So when I said Allison, it wasn't like, hey, Allison, like, tell me, but it was like, go to Allison. So if you have a question, like. I know, well, that wasn't, it's not like a bad thing. I'm just saying, my point was, if you have a question, you come into the office and you're like,
Somebody's gonna help you.
I have a question, and you talk to Bradley and he's like, I don't know, dude. Like, talk to Chris, or talk to Tim, or talk to Allison, and we like will help you get whatever you want. But, except Claudia, because if you want donuts,
Handle it. I mean, healthy this year.
you know, she punked me and she's like, hey, your class starts in 5 minutes, why aren't you here? And I'm like looking at my schedule, trying to eat. I'm like, no, it starts at 5:30, and she's like, just kidding. So, you deserve it. We do some awards, top franchise for veterans in 2021, top female friendly company, top 500 franchise in 2022, world's best employee. That's a big one. America's best customer experience in 22. I don't know who's giving these out. Do we know?
Us.
These are forms.
Four.
Oh, yeah. Because if it's like me, I just say like I did something. I'm like, oh, top realtor in Utah.
Like my mom said.
Right. Also knows I call my mom all the time. Like if I have a bad client, just call my mom to. Like, mom, say something nice. Allison like tore me down. On a Zoom call. On a Zoom call. Do not get on a Zoom call and think that you and Allison are friends. There's just your warning. So they're talking about training and coaching. So this Connect is like the platform that Keller has with as much information as you could ever want to learn. And you just click on something, and like I said, you want to know how somebody in Boston does something that is super successful. Well, you can find, and to be on here, they don't just say, oh yeah, I'm successful. They have to show their books that says they made this money and they were profitable. And it's not just like, yeah. Like to get on Family Reunion, you like to get up on stage and talk to Gary Keller. He like says, he like interviews you with your financial books and says, how intimidating is that? Sit in front of a billionaire.
It's like
and
he's
say,
one.
open your books. University, this is where you're at right here, Isaiah.
That's right. I'm here.
This is a class I've taken 3 times. It's like a high level class to.
That's one of the very few that costs.
Yeah, this one does cost money. But you can do a lot of other things, but it took me a few years before I took that. Command, this is how you keep track of your people and what you're doing and where they're at and what part of the transaction and where your documents are. The nice part is like once you load it in there, it's always there. So if the client called me two years down the road, I can pull up their thing, pull up their home inspection and well, it says in here because they don't keep their documents.
There's a course that you can take to learn this.
Bradley teaches many courses per week. And it's like a one-on-one almost, that they'll just sit down and you can have your computer open or you can sit in the conference room and they will walk you through how all of this works. So Bradley and Lauren are kind of the tech trainers of the office. That's they're willing to help, but they are paid to help. So it's like
The key with Command is to automate your business so you can focus on transactions and let that run. Back part of your business, so you don't have to worry about that. Covering higher expenses.
yeah.
And can I just say something about Command that I love? So before they did this is actually pretty new to Keller Williams. People paid for the systems like this and others, where this is just with your, your dues that you pay here. But we love Command. It's like great. It's our CRM. We're able to track our leads and things like that. And so this is actually an awesome.
Yeah, you do automated email, like campaigns and stuff like that, like go out automatically to whatever groups that you want them to.
Yeah, like you can say, well, where's all my dog friendly people? And if you put if I put Tim's name in there, that he likes dogs. And Isaiah, out of the whole room, and pull the 2 of you, or like who has kids, or like you could tag somebody however you want. And if you searched it by that and said, who likes guns? You can take these 3 people shooting, or who likes coffee and do a coffee of it, or however you want. Where you met them, what they're interested in, how receptive they are to responding to you. So meaning, if I sent you an email and you never opened it, never responded to me, you're like down here. But if every time I send it, you call me like, this was great, then you get like invited to the higher end stuff. And I tell you like, right? So like Tim said, it automates a lot of things so that you can keep being in front of people, because that's where the money's made, is the connection. We have an app. Most of the time it's great. Most of the time it's new, and so like anything that's new-ish, it's a couple years. Most of the time it's really great, but it pulls up what your to-do is for the day. You can pull up notes, like you can talk to somebody and then enter notes in on your phone while you're driving, like talk to it and be like, he likes to go to the gym, and right, and then it goes into that CRM as a note. So the next time that you talk to them, like, oh, what was there for, like, what were we talking about last time? It'll have it all right there. Birthdays, home anniversaries, things like that. You can put neighborhoods in, so like your clients can pull up you can set it up. So where do you live?
South Weaver.
So I can say this 7 blocks of South Weaver. What's the average home? What's the average price point? Who's the last home that sold? What's the new listings? And once a month, that would send right to you that says, here it is. But if your dream was to go to Morgan and to own a farm in Morgan, I can send you that, and I can send you the dream home in Morgan. Just be like, well, if you see something you like, hit me up. Or hey, I just saw this come up. Do you want to talk about it,
It's a
Right.
separate app.
same.
It's the same.
But part of this. You can set up a neighborhood. Right. One of these things on. But you can put it in there that says, this is the neighborhood, this is the price point, this is what they're interested in. And keep things in front of them. Or if they're interested, like, hey, I want to move to Sugar House. But I can only afford 400,000, I need 3 bathrooms. I'm not gonna be able to afford Sugar House, right? So I can see.
You can send a mobile homes to your house.
Yeah, the RV park on State Street, you just go buy a fifth wheel and. That's what you get where it's driving around. We have 15 minutes, I don't know how much time, how many things we have left. Passive income,
10, so I give them a. How long you want?
we're just gonna stand awkwardly. Passive income, there is a way that you can have profit share by helping other agents join KW. That you get, I don't get like a direct portion of your check. But some of the money that is sent to corporate comes back. When the market center's profitable. There's agents that make a ton of money. Just from recruiting other agents. Anything? Aha, there's no donuts, moving on. I was like stoked for a donut, I'm not gonna lie. My inner fat kid. was like, that was strong. These are all the different companies that is part of Keller Williams. Keller Mortgage, we do have an in-house. Unity Home Loans here, but this is also a different, this is like a national corporate guy. Keller Worldwide, you can send stuff to people outside. These are different, if you wanted to focus on. I don't know, really. If you wanted to focus on land or luxury, or military, or commercial. For young professionals. What?
What is young professional?
Under
Funny, young professional.
under 30,
Oh,
35.
Okay,
And some of these do come with a cost and like training.
okay.
So that young professional is like they do events. And you can't go if you're my age.
Oh. You can go.
It's just, you can go, you just have to stand outside and look through the window. It's to help the younger kids like
Yeah.
grow up in the.
Utah's become one of the most interesting luxury markets in the country.
Yeah,
Third most expensive state.
yes, that's
the US
crazy.
right
It's
now.
like 5
So
years.
luxury taking a huge boost, and anyone that wants to focus on that, really, even working with agents that want to focus on how price will be higher. And so there is more detailed conversation.
Yeah, Hawaii, California,
In
Utah,
Utah, yeah.
crazy.
It was like this hidden gem they all found
We're still hitting.
right after.
Vision your career. I think this is a good one. A lot of you said that you set goals. Today, as of 2026, a year from today, what are you doing? Where are you at? What? And so this is essentially, so part of that bold class that we talked about. They have you write a letter to yourself and they actually hold it and then they mail it back to you a year later. Which is cool because you're like, I'm gonna be doing this. And this is what I've done. And I want to buy another investment home. I want to make this much money. And then they mail it to you and you like get to see. This is what I said that I was going to do. But I think this is a really great thing. Where do you want your business to be? Where do you want your family to be? Financial. All things.
All right.
I thought she was going to say that Amazon had it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you guys don't have to come to Keller. You can just do it on Amazon. Yeah. This talks about like how you want to live your big life. So if you make 364,000, what are you gonna do with it? How much of it you donate? Pay off mom and dad's house? I don't know who Sarah and Hunter are. Maybe the kids,
But they gotta go to school and.
well, you need more than that.
Yeah.
120, you have 3 kids,
It's true.
so you're gonna need Sarah, Hunter and Tommy.
Close.
But yeah, where are you gonna, like, why are you doing what you're doing? I think is the basic premise of, like, what makes this. Why you get up and come to work and get on the phone and have uncomfortable conversations and walk through the snow and, you know, and sweat in the summers and look why you're doing what you're doing. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it the big way. That's what we talked about.
For sure.
Where your commission goes. So other agents. Like part of your commission obviously goes to the other agent when the other side of the deal. The market center obviously has a cut of your check. Your business expense, your taxes, and finally your take home pay. Oh, look at that graphic. So the dollar,
Let's divide it up into bits.
that's what you get. Unless you buy rental properties, and then I will teach you how you can go back to that. If you want that, come talk to me. If you want this, don't buy a rental house. This. Anyway. So they're just saying, if your goal was 100. Is that company dollar right?
Well, we only have an $18,000 cap,
Because when I saw the training stuff, I'm like. I don't
but other
know.
offices have higher cap.
That's California.
I was like, I don't think that, so I don't want to say. Like, I thought we were all on the same team and then. They said this to me, and I was like, I don't believe that. So 18,000, this business expense is what you decide to spend on your business. So if you grossed 180,000. Minus all these things, your average commission is, we're 15,000 in this office. You'd have to do 20 deals, so. You'd have to do 11 deals. Something like that.
Part of the coaching program helps you understand your expenses, your profit loss, your balance sheet, your income statement. Like, we want to help you create a business, not just based on commission, but actually creating a big enough business to.
And where should you spend this 50 grand, and does that make sense? So just because you have it doesn't mean you should spend it, so part of that planning says, hey, I wanna spend $10,000 on a website. Well, cool, we have a free website, so. I just saved you 10 grand, right? So things
Well,
like
let's
that,
work toward your strengths, let's work with your strengths, right?
yeah.
What's your strength, that's what the money.
So in your material that some of you have, you can figure it out, but there's plenty of us that can help you do that. Anybody? I'm like cutting on time. I got 2 minutes. In 2 sections. Daily success. We might be a little late. This is important. How many conversations are you gonna have a day? How many people that you're gonna add to that database? Some people make their whole business off of handwritten notes. I do most of mine off social media. I think that's how I engage with most of my people that buy houses with me.
Do you know what the 10-5 means?
What?
The 10-5-1, we could just explain that. It means liking 10 people's posts, commenting on 5 people's posts, and direct messaging one person. That's it.
Which is like way below the minimum.
Yeah.
So don't just death scroll and then never post anything. And nobody knows. You're like, oh, I saw that. And you're like, you didn't comment or like it. Like, be social on social media.
Do you want like the pain taken out of prospecting for your real estate business?
Yeah.
Add 5 new people to your database every day. Call 10 people you know and remind them you're in real estate. 5 handwritten notes. And review 5 properties that you're planning on farming in.
Say that one more time. You're back.
Add 5 new people to your database every day. Call 10 people you know in your database and remind them you're in real estate or have an engaging conversation. Write 5 to 10 handwritten notes and review 5 properties in the area you're following, understanding the square footage, the schools, the restaurants, the entire area, so you can become the best fiduciary for your future clients, especially in the area that you plan on prospecting.
Does that sound hard? Anybody?
For 13 conversations a day equate to 36 transactions a year.
I have a question for people that have
Right, and
actually
so
done that.
great. Where should 80% of your business come from?
20%.
The people you know,
Yeah.
right? Your SOI, the people you know. And so if you're not engaging in those conversations every day, that's where you'll find the most success.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
This says, if you call someone on the do not call list, you're on your own and you will get sued and we will not get sued.
You're not gonna pay fines, you're gonna pay your own fines on the.
Was this a big conversation when you guys were in school
Yes.
with the TCPA?
It was, but like,
On the test.
yeah, it wasn't a test and everything, but I'm like, how do you know they're?
This is a big deal now, since with the NAR changes, there
Yeah.
are people out there looking to just take advantage of real estate agents. You
So-
have to be very careful.
If you know somebody, like. This,
With your
this is Justin's view of how this works, because I'm an
And you can also learn
independent,
the.
I'm an independent contractor and I'm
Hold
not
on,
paid.
in real estate school though, they said if it was like a blatantly mistake and then honestly you didn't mean to do it, then it wasn't a big deal.
So if I know you and I call you and you're like, hey, bro, I don't want to talk to you, I want to do it on call, I'm like, cool, I won't call you anymore. Right? But if I'm buying leads and I'm calling anybody on the lead and we never had a conversation, I don't know you from anyone, there's a good chance I'll get fined.
If you're buying these, there's a good chance they check the box that said they understand they're gonna be called.
Depends on where you're buying them, so trust the source because ultimately you're paying the fine, not.
And we have plenty of scrubbing and everything.
Yeah.
Scrub against the do not call.
But
Moving.
you can scrub your own on do not call.gov.
Lead generate, uncover motives, identify objections, close the deal.
Just on the do not call real quick.
Yeah.
That's do not call. Does not mean you cannot write them a letter. You can write it, well, I read a letter first and then a love letter later.
Yeah.
You can show up at their door too.
Yeah.
Jason and I go show up at their house
Yeah.
after from 7 to 8 p.m. It's really worked out well for him, but.
2 guys standing at the doorway.
Spirit, we've talked about it a few times with people you met in some way, shape, or form. People move 7 to 10 years, so if you bought today, likelihood that you're gonna buy or sell in 7 to 10 years is pretty high. Unless they have some divorce, marriage, kids. Promotion, transfer, like big life events, but normal life is 7 to 10 years. The forward conversation, talk about family, occupation, recreation, dreams.
Okay.
See,
You did it.
look, I had planned that perfectly, Allison. You made me all nervous. I got all sweaty. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments?
So that board at the end there, that's how you speak with other people. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Very nice. So that's when you're calling to talk to somebody in your sphere of influence, these are the topics.
And you're like, what am I gonna talk to Jason about? I'm gonna talk about his family. I'm gonna talk about his occupation. I'm gonna talk what he likes to do for fun and what he dreams about.
Or goals, like dreams/goals.
Yep. If I ask him any one of those 4 questions in some fashion, he's gonna wanna tell me. That's why it's up there is that I'm like, hey, like, what's going on with your family? Tell me about your kids. And like, oh my God, they're a pain in my ass, or they're great, right? They've been sick all week. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Right? People just wanna talk about.
They're passing each other above.
Oh, yeah, it goes through the whole family, and then
You're not me
yet.
You're next to get the bug.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm symptomless, but I'm right.
Well, that's all I got.
Hey, we're gonna take a bathroom break for a second. There's restrooms down that hall and then some other restrooms
There's 2 down here.
down here. Yeah.
So the trees were brought from Athena. Do you want to tell them a little bit about
Oh, yeah, she's not here.
Is it
You know,
Athena?
she had to run home because, family, but
So Athena is how I said you could eat for free.
I think it's one of the ways.
Athena is a good way. If you go golfing, we may have a beverage for free. It could be an adult or a teenage beverage.
Could be a golf beverage or.
Could be golfing beverage, but so she works at Nook and Cranny. She's my home inspector company. She is the marketer of the home inspector. Troy is the owner. He has years and years of plumbing, decided to open up his own inspection. And so now he has an inspection company, a plumbing business, a mold and remediation company. But I had somebody else, different company, do a home inspection today. And I was not very happy with them. I did not pick them, my client picked them, and I was like, okay, I'm going with that. And I was like, my guy would have done a better job, but I'm like, interesting. But yeah, she does a great job. And so go use the bathroom, get a drink, stretch your legs.
Get your donut off.
I thought there weren't donuts.
I thought she said there was.
We'd love to find out.
There's something.
Jason's over there eating, so I'm usually like the first person on Tuesdays to get food. Cause I sit right there or right here, so I'm like,
There's no donuts. Oh, it's something else. There is something.
yeah,
It's
for
some
sure.
Surprise.
Get up and stretch your legs, cause body will put you to sleep. If you don't get up and stretch your legs, I will fall asleep.
Hey, if anybody else wants a book, let me know. And we'll come back in about 5 minutes.
I'm just a fan.
Cause I just said Claudia's gonna pick it, so I didn't know if you heard that. If they don't get, I was trying to get everybody to move it. I was trying to get you to move. It was a compliment, but you didn't, hear it.
Did you specifically ask? for donuts? Or did you say donuts or something? Did you bring donuts or something?
No, I said, and then I think the conversation, what do you want? And then,
You wanna know?
I feel bad now. Really quickly. Jason, when you run to the. That's my. No, this is my. Front part of my back. What's the? Oh.
How old are your kids?
10, 7, and 1.
I don't know, 1-year-old.
Babies puke. That's the worst.
You have her like a champ.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing, like, right, I got sick with the baby.
Oh,
So
no.
my husband was actually on baby duty.
Hey, that's awesome.
And I was like, I didn't have to deal with the puke from the baby, but then I gotta stay up all night dealing with everybody else. When they got it later.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's,
You're sick and everyone's sick.
it's awful.
We're puking, cleaning up there.
Yeah.
And the power went out too.
I
So I
also
couldn't
don't
use the
know
washing machine. Thankfully,
if
like
this-
6 hours, but
Yeah, cause that sucker's going the whole time,
yeah.
especially.
I
with the
don't
baby.
know if this helps anybody.
Oh, I'm so.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
But no,
Okay.
no, you got it. Yeah,
Mm.
It's all good.
I know. You live in Ogden? Yeah, I was gonna say, you mentioned
Yeah, these ones are.
where we're at.
17th and Grand.
Oh, yeah, we're like,
Yeah, like a mile away.
oh my God, that's a nice area. I like that.
Can you guys hear us still?
For a lot of-
You go with.
It's like right by the river.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, right there. I kind of all over. I grew up in Ogden Valley and it's up in Georgia. So you,
Oh, but it's nice.
so you're stuff and you know, it was, but like my parents moved in like when I was like years ago before it came. What?
It's like farm or something.
Yeah, but then my parents built an apartment and I got another place. Okay, like, But, yeah, like, Ogden was kind of, I know that there were, yeah,
Being around, it's a pretty small city.
it really is, like, yeah, well, cause there's nothing to do about it. You gotta go down to get your groceries, you gotta go down to do everything.
Yeah, there's really not even a grocery store on there.
Have lunch, and milk costs way more. They're allowed to do that.
I got a friend, she lives out there, and yeah, it's nothing, it's like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah,
And every time I see her, I'm like shocked, like,
it's beautiful.
I can't believe it's worth it for you to come. And I hate that road, either, whichever way you can.
Which one?
Well, I like
The
to,
canyon?
if I could go the way I would want to go every time, I go all the way down to 84
Go Traverse.
and go around, because it's like safer too, like,
Was when I drove so.
it's so much out of the
Have
way.
you ever been to North Arkansas?
Oh, yeah, it's
I do that every day, going to school.
Everything.
What? It's not a joke. There was a day I thought I was gonna die. I was like stick shift with a Corolla, snowing, shouldn't have made the choice, prayed and threw it into like first and was like, please don't let me go off the road.
I'm sure it happens a lot.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's beautiful. drive. Oh my God,
Yeah, I sometimes like to go up there and look out over Ogden.
It's freaking gorgeous.
It's like 4th of July, you know, it's a cool spot, and you can see like all the different fireworks. that people are putting on.
That city's spending lots of money this
Yeah.
year.
I like it.
No, that's fun. I love it. Did you grow up around it?
So I moved here like 10 years ago,
Oh,
and it was like way cheaper.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Keyword what?
It was one of the main reasons why I moved here. Like,
It's like,
oh,
yeah.
cool,
And then all-
super affordable.
Where'd you live?
New York,
Oh, wow.
you
You
know,
made it big.
Western New York,
Oh, okay.
but still like
So different
the
nature.
small, yeah, like the small city that I was from was like over 1 million people.
Wow.
So moving here,
What brought you here? Just guys.
well, really. That was not all of it. My kid's mom moved here, and I have like a daughter who's 16 now,
Oh, wow.
but she was like 6 then, and she came to visit. Well, she doesn't have her permit yet. She failed the test twice. I wanted her to get it so she could drive me around.
I get it.
Worry about it. Why? I had to come back out here, bring her back to New York. And then when I came here, I was like, why didn't you just tell me? Yeah, like I would move here, we could move here together.
That's awesome.
And then, so that was when she was like probably like 5, and then a year after that, she came to visit her mom and then just wanted to stay, and I wasn't really doing much in New York. That I couldn't be doing here, you know, the jobs and working.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it was really, I mean, I'm still like in awe of the mountains and stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like when I meet people from here and we go to other places or whatever,
They're like, that's not a.
it seems like every place is kind of ugly compared to here.
Really?
Like if you're just like
Okay,
used
I'm
to
gonna
having like the
I'm like,
beautiful
show
mountains.
people, like 50 states over here. I'm like, I've been to like 4. And they're all left.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have no idea. So like, when people say like, that these mountains are, I
Awesome.
take that for granted because I've grown up in.
You know how, Jason?
Yeah.
You know.
You're not
there's anywhere else.
It's not like that. Other
Really?
places. It's so beautiful here.
And this is I think better. That's, I'm like biased to.
I love New York City.
I would like to go to New York and like,
You staying the whole time, Tim?
not the city, I wanna go out from like, out, like, what do they call it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would,
Jason.
it's like woods.
yeah, I would love to go.
There's mountains, there's not as big as here, but.
Hey,
yeah, beautiful.
I think we're all back.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's cool.
I gave you guys, a little script paper
Oh,
on each
no.
of your sheets. If you didn't get one, let me know. I have extras. Would you like one? This is about the Ford script that he was talking about, and Claudia's gonna go more into it. These are just some ways you can ask the questions. People get nervous and they're like, I don't know what to say to people, or I don't want to talk to people, and ultimately, that's the way we build and strengthen our relationships with people so that they will trust you to do business with you. So practice, just asking people questions and getting more curious about who they are, and then things will come out. They'll say, oh, I am having a baby, I need to buy a new house. I just have people that happen to decide they wanted to adopt 3 siblings right now, and they don't have a house for that, and so that's a new current client, just based off of a life change, like what he's talking about. Claudia is gonna teach Embrace Your Job on that, so I'm gonna ask you another question. What, let me ask everybody first, so think about this, what do you guys think a real estate agent's job is? So just kind of think about that, and then compare your answer to Claudia's. What's a real estate agent's job, Claudia?
Lead generation.
Lead generation. So, also, we like to call that relationship building for people that don't like the term lead generation. We have to change our language, right? So 2 things, off the first session that Justin taught, the write a letter to yourself. And what was right after that in the book? There was 2 things, write a letter to yourself.
I'm gonna think of how many calls.
Well, I don't know. Didn't bring my iPhone up here, but it was the 1 year from now. Oh, and your big life, the money one. What are you gonna do with the money you make? Those are super worthwhile things, so I hope you guys take some time tonight to do both of those. And then I'm just gonna ask a market stat. Does anybody know how many homes are on the market today? Approximately?
Where?
What, like in Utah? or-
Yep, well, so on Utah real estate. So in Utah, I'm
So
gonna-
in Utah. I know. I'm gonna say.
20,000.
That's great. I was gonna say, I was thinking.
That'd be-
Yeah, like 3,000.
30,000, anyone else? Have a guess? You gonna look it up? He's over there trying. There is about 9,700 homes for sale
Oh, wow.
on the MLS. So people think that this market is hard and people are gonna tell you that a lot. They're gonna get in your head about the market. Don't let them get in your head. There's 9,700 homes for sale. There's way more buyers than that. You can take a piece of that pie, right? You guys all need some of that 9,700 homes. In between Davis and Weber County, there's about 1,000, just under 1,100 homes to sell, just in the 2 counties we live in. So there's definitely enough business for all of us. So don't let that get in your mind. Hey, Claudia.
Okay, as of the second, 9,367.
Oh, 9K.
But still, that's a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing, love it.
Awesome. Okay, you guys, I, first of all, think it's so amazing that you guys are dedicating so much time here tonight. Like, you had that first class, a lot of information. I'm gonna have more information. I just think it's awesome. You guys are plugging in. Already that tells me that you guys have that motivation to do that. And really, you guys read the stats, right? Like how many agents quit after the first year and second year. And that kind of thing. So keep plugging in. The cool thing about here, if you don't remember it, I'm gonna teach it again, right? Jason, this is your second Ignite session to go through. So, okay, so last year was a really tough year for some people in real estate. I actually almost increased my business by double. And so my husband is coming on full term and full time. He used to be in referral status, but now we're just gonna crank up and he can concentrate on stuff I don't like to do. And then vice versa. So one time I went through Ignite and I really gravitated towards, oh, you guys, they're not even here anymore. Well, John kind of is. He's one of the suit, they were called the suit guys, but he's in Florida now. Anyway, so when they taught it, they taught by stories. So like, I'm gonna use slides for sure, but if you guys don't mind, the way I teach and the way I learn is by other people's experiences. And you guys are gonna have this information, book form or the digital copy that they're gonna email to you. But my experience has been that I just like to learn from how other people have done it, right? And I'm part of the agent leadership committee, like Justin. I know he teases a lot, but we're actually good friends. So we're always here to help. That's something that sets us apart from other brokerages. You guys are brand new, so I don't know if you know how to compare it to, but Tim, like that's just like our big thing. We're just one of the things that sets us apart. That could give me an idea. We're here to help each other. There's going to be transactions that Well, I have them all the time where I'm like, shoot, I do not even know where to go.
Dang
I'll
it,
go
dang
into someone's brain.
it.
And so something.
Some of the other brokers do have kind of a cutthroat attitude where they're not gonna help other agents, because why help your competition? So that doesn't happen here.
Yeah. And the other thing, one of my goals tonight is for you guys to be like, oh my gosh, if she can do it, I can do it. I started out part-time, and I have 6 kids. My kids were young and I still had a little one that wasn't even in kindergarten yet. And being a mom is #1 priority. And so I did 3 transactions my first year, and that was awesome. It was fun, part-time play money for our family. And then I just ramped up from there. And so when our daughter, she's in 5th grade now, so now I have no excuses, right? So now I do it all the time, and I love it. And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I hate it. Okay. So we're just gonna start embracing your job. Okay, can you guys raise your hands? Have any of you guys been self-employed before? You have been, right? Okay. So when you're self-employed, you don't get that paycheck every other week, do you? You don't have that, or twice a month, right? So if you're choosing this career, whether you're gonna do it part-time, and there's room for everybody. If you wanna do one, I'm gonna cheer you on, girl. If you do that one transaction, we will go to lunch, okay?
Okay.
We'll make one of our vendors pay, but we're gonna go.
Sounds like a plan.
And I celebrate that. And if you wanna do 100 transactions, awesome, I'm gonna celebrate that with you as well, except you're paying for lunch, right? So, but there's room for everybody, and you're all needed. But you do have to embrace your job. It's not gonna just come to you. You have to talk about it and all the things that we were talking about earlier with Justin. Okay, so the next thing that we were kind of needing to talk about is you guys, I'm sorry, I lost my wedding ring, and so that's why I'm kind of like nervous. So if you see it anywhere, sorry, I have to apologize. That's like my little. It's a cheap.
It was a backup.
It's a backup cheap one, but still, like, I feel weird without it.
Got it. It's like throwing you.
It's throwing me off for
Off
sure.
balance.
I'm off my groove for just a second. I think I washed my hands in this. Yeah, just feels weird.
I got a T-Rex movie.
Oh, nice. Okay, maybe. Yeah, my other one's getting fixed, so I have like a cheap Kohl's one. Okay. So we're gonna apply the 6 core. They call them competencies, but I just feel like just the main things that you need to know about your business. So I think we kind of asked this one, but what part of being a real estate agent excites you guys the most? Experience? Like learning, or like tell me more about
side
that?
of things, and then like helping people out,
Yeah.
like getting them to where they can be, like getting them like off of that.
I love that. That's great. What about anybody else? I'm here from 3 people.
Money.
Money, right? All right, Jason, so what excites you about the money, right? What about that?
If you work real estate, it's very lucrative. There's a lot of agents who make a lot of money. Even just in this office, all those pictures up on that wall, the cappers.
Okay, don't look at mine, mine's really dated. I mean, they probably can't.
The capper, yeah, you probably can't even tell which one. The cappers means that they hit that cap of what the brokerage takes out of your paycheck. So they get 100% of the paycheck after that. They say that if you're a capper, you're making around $100,000 a year. So there's that many people in the office that are in that range. And many of them are a lot higher than that.
And just, I want you guys to think to yourselves, what would you do if you made 100 grand?
Vegas.
Okay, you do have to have a like, no. You know what? I will tell you something. I will tell you something. We actually have family reunion coming up. We talked about it super briefly with Justin. But Keller Williams has the thing we call family reunion every year, and this year is in Las Vegas, and it's very worthwhile to go to. There is an expense, of course, for it, but it is a business expense, and you come away I swear, every time I go, I come home and I'm busy. I have so much business. And there's just something about that energy. It's not necessarily that I went there and got a bunch of referrals, but I maybe attended a class and I thought, oh my gosh. Or I'm telling you, there's just something about karma. Like every time you go, everyone needs you. My phone will start ringing, that kind of thing. So, but family reunion is in Vegas, so I'm saying.
Vegas.
I love how it's family reunion.
It's in
In Vegas.
February,
In February.
That's funny.
so the cost of the tickets and then the expense of going. to Vegas.
And then if that's not on your budget for right now, there's Mega Camp in August, then that's always in Austin.
Gonna be in
Oh,
San
just
Antonio?
kidding. It's in San Antonio. I forgot that the conference center is being remodeled, so it's in San Antonio, which is about an hour and a half. I used to live in between San Antonio and Austin, yeah, a little town called Kyle. You wouldn't know it unless you needed to stop for gas. Okay. So here are the 6 competencies. So the first one is lead generate, capture. We're gonna go through these. So I want to be respectful of your time. So I'm not gonna spend too much time. You guys can read along. So the first one is lead generate, capture, and convert appointments. So I'm not going to lie. I don't always love doing lead generation. So we have applied having Tim being accountable for my husband and I too this year. And so our 411, they know what 411 is. So our goals, and we can talk about that later. And if you forget, don't worry, we're gonna teach it again. You guys are gonna just, it's something, if you plug in, you're gonna hear this information and it'll become like,
Tim is teaching a 411 class on February 12th at 10 a.m.
see, exactly. And then you can go into that. So my point is accountability. So lead generation. So my husband does a lot of that. What do you do for lead generation in the mornings?
So our main source of lead gen of new contacts is open houses, and along with the open houses, I knock doors. So I'm not anywhere from 30 to 50 doors around where I'm doing open house the day before I do it. And out of 30 to 50 door knocks, I'll maybe get 1 or 2 good leads where I'll call back. They're like, "So this is Jason, I knocked on your door." Like, "Oh yeah," and then you have a follow-up conversation. And then actually sitting in open houses, if you get people to come to the open house, frequently they're unrepresented buyers, especially in the lower end where, we did a townhome. So we actually got 2 leads out of our open house. So we did on Saturday at that same place. So we did a townhome last Saturday, had 2 new,
Unrepresented
unrepresented
buyers.
first time home buyers. And neither of them are ready immediately, but 3 to 6 months down the road, we have good contacts. So that, and then outside of that, I'm just calling our SOI. So
Do you guys know what
reaching out-
SOI even is?
So reaching out to people that we already know, who we've talked to before, making sure they know that we're real estate agents. And
And today I made my 1 call. I just didn't, I was just whatever, excuses, my limiting beliefs, right? So I just didn't make my phone call. I'll just be honest. So today I did. And yeah, my SOI, someone in my SOI is like, oh yeah, we're gonna be ready in 3 weeks. Sweet, let's go.
well, we have, so, and then on top of that, we're upping our social media game. So part of letting our SOI know that we're doing real estate is them seeing our social media posts 3 or 4 times a week. So
You guys should not be secret agents. Okay, let everyone know that you're. Okay, and then a second core competency is to present your buyers and sellers and set appointments. So you're gonna find the people, right? And you have to do that by having conversations. And so maybe it is, who was the soccer mom scenario, right? I'm super involved in PTA, elementary, junior high, and high school. And I hit that hard, right? And then when I'm sending my emails, I also have our little, Audie and Jason, I have our little, what do you even call it at the end of the email? Our signature block. Yeah, that's all my emails, whether it's to PTA, church, I don't care. I always have my signature block on my emails. So everyone knows I'll buy a banner for like the high school or the football team or whatever. So that's something else. So have those conversations. And then later on in Ignite, you guys, I hope you come to every night. you're gonna hear from different teachers and you're gonna, I think, pull from different teachers, right? Different information. And there is one about buyers specific, like having a presentation, what to say. A lot of realtors in our office will even share their presentation with you, like what they talk about, what their slides look like. And same thing on the selling side. So we're not gonna leave you guys alone. We're here to hold your hand through all of it. And then, of course, funnest part for me is showing homes and marketing homes. I really love that part. It's fun for me. And then write and negotiate contracts, coordinating the sale to closing, and managing money. Okay, who can I have read this? Anybody feel like, and I'm not offended if you guys are feeling yourself falling asleep or just wiggling, you need to stand up. I'm totally cool with that, by the way. Will you please read? Sorry, what's your name?
I'm Greg.
Greg, and what's your favorite color?
Green.
Okay, Greg, his favorite color is green.
To
Thanks.
achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, it's not a secret to real estate. I was kind of in a slump at one point in my career, and I just was like, oh, I'm running out of money. And I just remember Corey Bergner, you guys probably get to know Corey, but he was just like, it's not a secret. Make your calls, talk to your people. I'm like, I know. Roll up your sleeves. So, does anybody have any ahas so far or any questions for me? I promise I'll share some stories of some transactions I've done. We'll get going on that. Okay, so recognizing your role as a fiduciary. Actually, do you know what? I was going to tell you guys a story about, I think it's further on, but it's okay, it's coming to my mind, so I will share it now, about the Ford, and we'll talk about it more. So during COVID was kind of a tough time for some people, for many of us, right? As far as real estate, Utah was kind of Wild West. They didn't stop us. Our governor let us, he considered us one of the necessities. What did they call that?
Essential.
The essential, right. And so we were still able to kind of do open houses, but like we had masks and we had booties and tried to do it the best way we could. And I took a bold class, and one of the things that they had us do was call our people. How are you guys doing? What does quarantine look like for your family? Like, how's everybody surviving? Do you need anything? You know? And so that was kind of cool. That was a fun way. I call them care calls. I like to call my people. I might, one of my limiting beliefs, like Justin was like, oh, all the pretty girls do better in real estate. I felt the same way. That was one of my limiting beliefs. And I didn't consider myself in that category. I do now, right? And so that was one of my limiting beliefs, but I actually kicked butt during COVID because I called because I care about people. One of my strengths is caring about people, and it's genuine. I really do care about people. I don't just call and just like, how you doing? Do you have a house to sell? You know what I mean? In fact, that's hard for me sometimes. Limiting belief on me to read to ask for referrals, which Jason's helping me with. Anyway, so that was one of my stories. See, I've got some stories. I'll try and make it fun. Okay, functionary versus fiduciary. We're gonna talk a little bit about this. So a functionary is like, what do you guys kind of think that means? Like when you hear that, yeah, just like, as far as like real estate, it's just like you do the job, right? You write the contract, you show the house. But a fiduciary is somebody who's more of like a consultant. I'm going to talk to my clients about numbers. Yeah, okay, maybe you're pre-qualified for 550. Does that make sense for your family to buy a house that's 550? Or should we look more closely to the 500 range? You know, and you have to have conversations and know what you're talking about. We'll skip ahas. We'll do some of that later. So I don't always love slides. Are you guys okay with that? I'm not like this person. So one of the questions I have for you guys is, what do you guys think, for example, what do you guys think is the hardest part about being a realtor?
I can say the paperwork.
Paperwork?
Very making mistakes.
Sure.
And maybe saying something like the wrong things.
Saying wrong things.
That maybe I like, I don't know, like I talk a lot. My whole goal is to like actually like listen more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had someone coaching me once say, you have one mouth and two ears. Cause I'm similar. I have to edit myself. I am a talker. Paperwork, I was nervous about that too. Got myself a transaction coordinator.
That's a good idea.
It's amazing. She's worth it and I love her so much. And you can do leverage, right? We all have different strengths and weaknesses. For sure. Justin's really good at investments. I'm gonna pick his brain because I'm excited to explore that part of real estate. One of the things I like to do is, one of the ahas I've had this year is to surround myself with people that are smarter than me and more successful than me. And it has really elevated like my thinking. Like I just can't think small anymore. Like I just can't, right? I love sitting in some of our leadership meetings and just sometimes I'm in awe, I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are so successful. And then I take a look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on this council too, you know, and I have to just be proud of the accomplishments I've made. Sometimes that's hard to do, right? So I have to tell you guys on the okay, when you're first starting and we're gonna talk about fiduciaries, I want you to be fiduciaries of your own money as well. That's something that I've learned. Just because you have it doesn't mean you go and spend it right away, right? There's going to be expenses. There's going to be maybe a month or two where you don't have a closing. And so I don't know if this is your only source of income, but it's just something to think about. We got a new accountant. We just weren't super happy with our old one. It's fine. But this one's really helping us organize just since my husband's going full time, we don't have that consistent paycheck that we used to. Like if I had a couple of slow months, no big deal, right? But now it's a big deal. It's how we're going to provide for our kids. Well, we have 3 adultish kids. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'm just not. I just wonder if you guys. I'm here, super successful. I'm here to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Do you go door to door and talk to people? too?
Absolutely, I do. I haven't in a minute. We have 3 young ones are $2 in high school sports, and our youngest she's in every sport imaginable. So I've been really busy with that on Fridays and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still do door to door. I still grind that way. I do open houses. Absolutely, that's part of my job. So I'm embracing my job, right? Like I have to get up every day and do something.
So there's a bunch of ways you can generate leads. The door-to-door thing, knocking around an open house is a super easy conversation, very low pressure. Hey, we're having an open house at your neighbors. And there's probably gonna be a little bit more traffic than normal. If you want to pick your neighbor, it's a great time to do it. You know, put a buddy in across the street. It's like a super easy conversation. You can say, hey, do you know anybody? Who do you know that's looking for a house right now? So there's ways to kind of get that, but there's also door knocking not around open houses. So you can go knock on doors. There's scripts for that. Anyone that's available, they do script practice here every morning at 9 o'clock. There's a couple guys that are plugged into that. And they go over things
Like what to say, like where do I even start? You know.
You can also do like dialers. Like you can buy dialers if you want to call expired listings or sell by owners. Like you can buy those lists and you have a dialer that'll dial 3 people at a time. And it scrubs it automatically. So if you use a dialer, it scrubs it for that do not call list automatically, and it'll dial for you. So you can run through a bunch of numbers doing it that way. Not the funnest thing to do because expired, they're already getting probably 10 calls a day from real estate agents, and they're not. So you just have to have good scripting, you know, like
It's important.
But yeah, there's a bunch of ways, and then a lot of them suck, a lot of them don't. Like calling your friends and saying, "Hey, what's up, buddy? How's your life going?"
I got those ones done.
Those are easy.
Yeah.
Social media is
The strangers.
a pretty low pressure way of doing it. Strangers is more difficult.
But I will say consistency is super important. I have found that when I'm not making my care calls, we have like a system in Command, 36 touch. You have to make your care calls. We do events. We have a Easter Bunny event coming up. And well, Easter egg time, but the Easter Bunny is my favorite. And it's just like a huge party for all of our clients, and you guys can join in on that for sure. We try to keep it super minimal cost wise. We have a bunch of our vendors that donate like raffle items, and then the raffle tickets are like $1 and it goes to the KW Cares. And our clients love to participate in that and come and bring their family. And that's an easy phone call, right? Hey, you have this.
Yeah.
And then you're reminding them that you're a realtor, right? Like, I'm getting back to my clients. And
Where is that?
this year we're going to do it at Emma Russell it's like on the Roy Hooper border.
Okay,
And we'll give you guys more details later. I promise.
I'll probably go to that.
We're obnoxious. Just keep coming every Tuesday and you'll hear all the announcements on that. As we get closer, we'll have more details. And if you guys want to get involved in any of our committees, so this year I'm over like just agent advocacy. So if there's anything that you guys, something that's bothering you or something you're curious about, please come talk to me. Like, I'm an open door here afterwards. If you want my phone number, if you guys have questions or anything, just call me, because people were like that for me. So I'm here for you. So, okay, accountability partner. So they want you guys to choose like someone in this room. You can have, Allison does coaching, right? And that's super helpful to have somebody to be accountable to. And then this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, so I won't go over that. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So this is something I am working on. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be more of like a fly by the seat. What do they call it? Seat in my pants. What is that? Yeah, is that what it is? That, right? Because I just was able to do, 3 transactions first year, and then 5 or 6 every year after that until this last few years. But I am trying to be more strategic about my business this last couple of years, and it showed. Like January is usually slow, but what I tell everyone, Tim, felt like my January last year. Just saying.
Your December was kick A. That's why you got your December.
Yeah, January is my biggest month ever. Okay, so here's some things to talk about. And I wanted to go more into detail about this. So I talked about the COVID, but then also, this is what has made me have my repeat and referral clients, because I really do care about their family. I really do care like what's going on with their jobs. I really do care what they like to do for fun. And honestly, I want to know what their dreams are. And I want to help those dreams. I want them to dream bigger for their family. Somebody that's never owned a home or come from a family that's never owned a home. Let's talk about that. Let's change that generational, roadblock. Let's get you into it. I'm also part of the of NAHREP, National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. And so the people with a Hispanic background, my mom's from Guatemala, I'm very passionate that they are treated fairly and kindly and honest. So, yeah.
And part of making it a great experience to give referrals is being, having these conversations, making sure you take good notes or remember, if you make friends, like you're gonna remember conversations you have with your friends, be able to recall that information when you have follow-up conversations in a month or two.
And our people love being on our VIP list. That's something that, so only our VIP got to do Black Island Farms with us, where we paid additional things for them to be able to do there. And so on our VIP list, what they have to have bought or sold with us within 12 months or given us a referral. It's not like it's that hard. Like, there's just a couple of things, right? And sometimes we'll do giveaways. We did a really fun one on social media. Our Thanksgiving one was a huge hit. So we gave away a $100 gift card to Harmon's. I had to find a store. I'm like, okay, so we have clients from Tremonton to Timpanogos and right, Provo, Spanish Fork. So we I grew up in Salt Lake, and so I have a lot of family in Salt Lake, and then I have a lot of family in Provo, Lehigh, that area. And there's no way I'm gonna let someone else represent them. So I'll drive to Lehigh and Utah County for family. Otherwise, I'll do an agent down there if it's just, it's a referral, someone I don't know, and then just take a referral fee. But Tremonton, we just closed in Tremonton a couple months ago. So. So yeah, start with your spirit. That's when you guys are starting, just start with the people you know. That's the low hanging fruit, because I know it's so expensive to start all your licensing and all the fees when you first start.
And
You know,
just
it's
to touch on
expensive.
the giveaway. 'Cause you
Oh.
mentioned that.
Yeah. Did I skip?
That's another like lead gen tool. right?
Yeah, we used it as the lead gen.
So we said you get, there's multiple ways to enter, you get additional entries for sharing a post, you get additional entries if you send, you get 10 entries if you send us an actual referral. So you use that as a lead gen tool to find new people, get new followers for your social media page.
Yeah, and then we did a live video, and then like on my Instagram and his Instagram, it was kind of funny doing it. And then we did like a spinning wheel and just did it that way. So yeah, start with your spirit, talk to your people, just how's your family doing? And then they're gonna ask you, good, how's yours? Good, how's work? Good. How about you? Oh my gosh, I just got my real estate license. I'm so excited. What? You know, did you really? Tell me more about that. And they're gonna want to know. Yeah. Easy conversation. Okay, mindset matters. So I've talked about a little bit about how I'm still working on it. I'm still work in progress. And I just think that's very honest to let you guys know that there's going to be times where like you're going to have a hard transaction. I had a transaction. Okay, here's the story. Yes, she can't say her name. So I had this one transaction, and I learned lots of things. So first of all, they were a referral. Somebody couldn't show some underrepresented buyers their listing, and this agent, she called and she's like, hey, this couple wants to look at my house. I'll just take 25% if you know, I'm like, cool, let's go. So I drove over, showed her house. They didn't like that particular one, but they ended up becoming my clients, and we had to do a buy sell combo, and it was crazy. So we were under contract in August and didn't close on their house that they were purchasing until right before Thanksgiving. And we sold their house too, and they were just ended up having to go to probate. You guys, it was just anything and everything that could go wrong did on this one. And they were mean. They were mean to me. Like there were this one time I literally said, you know what, I know it's real estate and it can be very emotional, but I'm going to go ahead and hang up the phone right now and go to dinner with my husband. And then I'm going to call you in the morning, and I'll speak to you in a professional way, and I can speak to you in a professional way. So.
You missed the best part. Mid-transaction, they decided they were gonna get divorced
Oh.
and decided to stay.
Oh.
Like I'm saying,
She was basically her therapist midway through.
So just stay together. You guys are
Yeah.
happy. You guys will get through this.
yeah. It was, and so one of the lessons I learned is it's okay to say no. Like I had a feeling about them at the beginning, but I was so eager and needed the money. But I've learned now that I'm like, if I don't feel good about somebody, it's not worth it. But however, now that I've been doing this for several years, I'm like, I totally use them again. I just set boundaries because like I've learned how to set boundaries.
Just set boundaries.
Yeah. Or talk to them after their house smelled a little bit like reefer. They were a little bit more pleasant. I'm just saying. Not that I know anything, but. Okay. Any ahas?
Get everybody's.
I did not say that. Okay. So here is just, we're just gonna skip this part. Okay. So the success system is basically just talking about you need to have a way to measure it. If you can't measure it, you don't know if you're succeeding, right? So one of the things I'm also working on is like, how many conversations does it take to get to a listing appointment? How many like, what's my conversion rate? So, Tim, how do you explain conversion rate? Like when you're like the percentage, like 80% of my people sign?
An appointment, how many appointments to get a listing signed?
Yeah.
When you start understanding those numbers, now you can set your goals the next year, because you know how many conversations will get in one.
Yeah. And I'm usually really good about getting people to sign. Jason's always like, oh, they're gonna sign, they're gonna love you. But I'm like, I know it's because I'm a mom. And so they know I'm gonna take care of them. So I use your strengths. Some people are so awesome. Some of you guys, raise your hands if you're like a numbers person. Like, right, you can go in there and that's your freaking strength, right? You can go in there and talk to them about stats. My eyes glaze over, you talk to me about stats. But if you talk to me about, oh my gosh, I need an acre because I really want chickens. Like, oh, girl, I got you, right?
You don't need an acre, Rich.
I know. That's right, you don't. It's depends on which city, right? Yeah.
I just have 8. That's enough for every day.
Yeah, and obviously the do not call us, you're gonna hear that every time. It's super important. Oh, I have a fun story. I just wrote down Glenn Huang. Okay, so one of my favorite, and he said I could use this. One of my favorite clients of all time. This is how I was talking about open houses. I love doing open houses. So I was doing open houses. And if you guys don't know where to start, call those of us that have listings, right? Just be like, hey, I saw that you have a new listing. Can I do an open house on that? So I used to do open houses for a new builder. And I just kind of did this one neighborhood in Roy. We live in Clinton, so I wanted one that was close. And so every time one of the houses got finished, I wanted to be the first realtor in there, right? To do an open house. And I just got to know the neighbors because I would invite them. I door knocked and would invite them to everyone. This was before my husband was licensed. And there was one open house I did, and I don't like to be alone. But we can talk about safety on another day. But as a female, and I'm kind of cute and I'm kind of small. So like, I don't like doing my things alone. And like, I couldn't get one of my lenders or somebody to go with me. So I took my daughter and I just had her have her coloring book. She has my phone in case she needed one, that type of thing. So she was just in the corner coloring. And this one neighbor came and he was like, hey, I want to finish, I live next door, but I want to finish my basement. Can you find out who their subcontractor is, their carpet person and so forth? I'm like, sure. So I called the lender or the agent. He called his builder just to get the name, got him that referral. But if I need to give you the name of these guys, I'm going to need your phone number, your name, your email, right? Those are like the things you need. And we didn't have Command at the time, but I got that piece of information, those pieces of information from him. And then say, hey, is it okay if I like email you stuff once in a while? Oh, he's like, sure. So I emailed him, you know, I invited him to my events, my 4 events. I do 4 a year. I'm hoping to do a 5th, but I would invite him, even though he didn't have kids, single guy. I didn't care. I'm gonna invite him to my Easter egg hunt. You know, I'm gonna invite him to the Santa cookies with Santa. I don't care. So he's not obviously not gonna come, but I'm gonna extend the invitation. And a couple of years later, he was like, hey, can you do we call it CMA, right? Hey, can you just do a thing on my house and see how much it's worth? Like, sure, absolutely. Yeah, but he didn't have the lingo, right? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I would do a current one, or he would call me 2 months later. Hey, can you do another one? And sure. And then one day, and then I don't hear from him, right? Another 2 years or something. It was crazy. He called me and he's like, hey, I think I want to sell my house. How much is it worth now? I did the same thing. He's like, hey, can you come over? So I made Jason go with me. So I'm like, you're gonna go with me on this one. And so we went over there, and he was like, hey, he's like, I interviewed with a couple other realtors that I was hoping you'd sell my house. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I will. And then he's like, okay, here's my house key. I'm flying out tomorrow to Tennessee, or where, I can't remember where he moved somewhere. He's like, I'm moving out, and I want you to sell my house. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, I just want you to know I interviewed a couple people that are on billboards. I won't name names, but I'm picking you because you had your daughter at the open house. And I was like, here is somebody who's hustling and is going to represent me. Yeah. So he ended up becoming one of my favorite clients of all time. In fact, like, he had like a private jet, like he's a cool freaking client to have had. And he called me when he moved from there to Missouri. He's like, hey, you know someone in Missouri, that kind of thing. So open houses, love doing them. And it didn't pay off 2 months later. You know what I mean? I didn't sell his house or get a referral from him. It was like 5 years later, I got, you know, but so, yeah. You guys like these stories? I can tell you some.
It's super helpful, yeah.
Yeah, like how I got the lead and like that kind of thing.
Well, I think a big thing is like, how you just said it doesn't pay off right away, but it can in the long run sometimes, because it's keeping that relationship
Yeah, exactly. Did you just have a aha? That's an aha.
Yeah,
So-
so the business, it's cumulative, so you just gotta grind and grind and grind. And eventually you start having stuff just hit. We had a ton of stuff just hit last year, because we've been grinding for 8 years.
Yeah.
So, there's other agents, Steph has been doing it forever, Steph, if you'll meet her. She just has business, just flows or all the time. She's added, script practice and knocking doors and all the other things, but she just has a set number of business that just kind of comes through every year. And just buys from. them. So,
And you can do it, you guys, you can do it. It's, it's gonna change your life. It did ours. It did ours. We're just started. So watch out for Team Welch, we're coming. What was another story I was gonna tell you? Threw me off my mind. What's another fun one? Another referral one. So, okay, so last year, December so this was like some friends, they were neighbors, and they didn't want to be my guinea pig, so they sold their house with a different realtor. Because they would have been my second transaction. And so I called her later. Oh, and here's another fun nugget. So I'll call people and I'll say, hey, can I just ask, you let me know like why you didn't go with me? It's super humbling, right? Because you don't want people to tell you like what you suck at, right? And so I called, even though they've done 3 transactions with us now, but I was like, how come you didn't choose me on the first one? She's like, I didn't want to be your guinea pig. And my friends, that is why, another testament of why I left my first brokerage. Because if I would have had Keller Williams, I would have had the scripts to know and the Keller Williams name. Keller Williams, right? Everyone knows who that is. And I didn't have the scripts or the support to know how to know what to say to them on that. Like I would, okay, I just like took it. Okay. Anyways, and then, so then I helped them buy. It's funny that they used a different agent, but then like the next month they used me to buy. And then, and then we sold, I can't remember. Oh, and here's another one. Speaking of grind, so Jason, like I said, he just got active, and you just got your first house under contract. Do you want to tell him? No, I'm so mad. You guys know how long it took me to get my first $1 million house? It took me 4 years of grind before I got my first luxury. His first one's over $1 million.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
New build, yeah.
That's awesome.
It was an internet lead where we were competing with 3 other agents, and just over the phone, having a conversation with the client.
He gets to use my stats, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like, the team's been doing it for a while.
4 years. I've tagged along with her for the last 4 years, so I know the lingo, I know the process, I kind of know everything about it, even though I wasn't actively working it. But I was able to have the conversation with this guy. I was the first conversation. He had 2 more. He came back and said, we're going to use you. It's a new build, Henry Walker home in North Ogden.
Oh, beautiful.
It's not going to close until like September.
Up on the hill. Like
Where? By Deer Creek?
North Ogden.
What?
I know, but I
don't know. Oh,
So
I didn't know Henry Walker was doing homes in North America.
North Ogden, yeah, it's a really cool development. They have a great home up there.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
Oh, yeah, and we took picture, social media, we took a picture of the view at their sunset.
Oh my gosh. Is it divided?
It's
No,
like divided.
It's not west,
Much
you started
further.
it? It's more east?
No, so it's right up on the mountain, but it's where the mountain curves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I know
It's right up
exactly where
on
you're
the
talking.
mountain, right up there.
Oh, I didn't know Henry Walker had development up there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
Really nice
cool.
house.
Good for you.
$1 million deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys, I love that I'm able to provide for our family this way. Careers worth having, right? That's one of the big ones. Legacies worth leaving. We have 6 kids, right? Like they're a little bit expensive.
Sure.
Anyway.
So this client didn't use us. They ended up buying and then selling and then buying another house. The house that they just bought was owned by a company.
A
it's a
relocation.
company. So they relocated an employee, they took over the home and then they sold it, so they had no knowledge of any issues that the home would have. They did an inspection, but like,
The inspector only inspects some
yeah,
things.
so like a
every-
month after they bought
3
it.
months, 2 months. The water main broke.
Water main
So
broke.
it wasn't even the sewer, and it was on their side, not the city's side, and it flooded and it was over 50,000 in damage just because it was a luxury home and so they have nice stuff. She's like, I'm like. So they're fighting their insurance, but
Yeah, insurance might not want to pay them, right?
But you'll get calls like that, like we don't have anything to do with that at this point.
No,
Then they
it's-
call us,
it's
like we can give suggestions, like talk to a lawyer, or
or talk to your insurance and
we can't like go over and say, hey, you should.
That's not your expertise.
So just on the mindset, it's real, do any of you guys do like, positive words to yourself, positive affirmations, or write things to yourself, or I don't know, I'll text stuff to my daughters, my two daughters.
I was
and-
trying to do it with my kids, but it started making me do it.
Yeah, it's important to get in a habit of just saying nice things about yourself. So I engage every conversation in spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. I loved that. And then I'm not gonna make you guys do role play up, but I do
If you wanna do role play, we do script practice.
script practice. I was gonna say, we do have it here. And anyway, there's just so much information. I'm so glad you guys chose Keller Williams. You're already winning by being here. Honestly, I love it here so much. So welcome. And if there's anything I can never do for you guys, just let me know. And that's it. So welcome.
There is a homework assignment
Oh, no.
for tomorrow. When you come here, 3 new contacts.
Okay.
Can you add 3 new people to your database? And what are the 6 things we're supposed to know, Brian?
Their name.
Name,
Email.
number,
Number.
email, address,
Okay.
birthday. 6 is kind of a bonus.
And so.
Home anniversary, Landon, bonus. Why is that important? And you guys have heard me talk about the 201 your database, right?
The home anniversary, like when they bought their home,
When they bought their home.
it's because that 7 to 10 year thing.
Right, well, it's in the 7 to 10 years, but it's also, Claudia mentioned something crucial, 36 touch. She's talking and you have what? How many hundred people in your database?
How many do we have now? 500.
Can you imagine talking to 36 people or 36 times a year to 500 people? A little insane, right?
Yeah,
That's where command comes in, the technology piece, right? But if you know those things, you can now communicate with your database in a systematized way that keeps you top of mind. So tomorrow come with 3 new people, and maybe it's not new people, it's people you know, but you don't have their email, address, anniversary, birthday. And birthdays you can find where? Social media, right? You look it up on Facebook or whatever, you can find out when their birthday is, because when you know that, calling someone on their birthday is cool. What about calling someone the day before their birthday? You're the first one to get to them, right? And it's like, I know your birthday's tomorrow, I just want to be the first one to wish it. What are you doing for your birthday tomorrow? Right? Is that a better conversation than like end of day on their birthday, right? So the key is to be the most effective agent you can possibly be, and that's relationships. So what's your number 1 goal in real estate?
Lead generation.
lead generation.
Lead generation, but what in lead generation is the most important? What's the purpose of that lead generation?
Oh, to sell.
To create engagement. When you create engagement, that's the beginning of a relationship. When you have that conversation, and then after engagement, what's the next thing? The appointment.
There it is.
The appointment. We're judged on the appointments we get. So create engagement, which enhances your relationship, and get the appointment. So tomorrow, can you guys come with 3 people with all those 6 things? Raise your hand. I swear on my life, Tim, I will be here tomorrow with 3 people with all those things.
How about new people? I can try.
New people or people that you know that you don't have all that information, right? We talk about what's 201 your database. If you have 200 people that you know, how many have 200 people in their phone? Right? Do you know all 6 things of those?
Nope.
Okay, then you can find 3 to get all 6 of those, right? But if you know all 6 of those things, if you have 200 people that you are doing a 36 touch program with, your average commission
Yeah,
in
get
Keller
this.
Williams nationwide is $150,000.
It's higher here in our office.
It's high, it's much higher. It's almost double that. So you're closer to 300,000. If you have 200 people and you communicate with them in a systematized way, like command, you will be extremely successful. Because what's the percent of failure rate with real estate?
80%.
It's more higher.
90.
Really? I didn't know.
Because, but it's not, like, it's not a hard science. All it is communicating
secret.
with your database. That's all it is. You are 80% of your business are gonna come from the people you know. And the people that you don't know, you'll get to know and they'll become your friends, like Wayne. His name Wayne?
Yeah.
Wayne.
Great.
I shouldn't have said his name, so now I have his permission, but just in case. I don't want to like.
Unfortunately, I will not be here tomorrow night, but I'll be here Wednesday, but I want to hear about your experience with those three.
There you go, Wednesday.
You know where my office is. My number is posted on the door. If you need a business card, you can do that.
Zoom people, thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Bye, guys.
Just wanted to-